Emanuel, who was also at one time President Obama's chief of staff. Doctor, it's great to see you again. So now we have more information, and your reaction to the latest numbers out tonight is what?
Look, I think they're disappointing. I think it's not that confusing given the fact that the website wasn't working, and the publicity campaign to make people aware of it and what to do was put on hold until the website begins to work reasonably well. So I'm not that surprised. Remember, we have 4.5 months from today to get to the end of the open enrollment period, and it's the end of the open enrollment period, which is fine. This is like watching a tea kettle and saying, is it boiling yet? Is it boiling yet? And that's not very helpful.
Well, but it's very concerning, but let me show you this number that I went over with Mark Thiessen.
Can you give me a chance?
I gave you a chance. Let's have a question and answer where the interview works better that way. 5 million people have already been canceled. Okay, so I'm not talking about the 7 million who you guys wanted to sign up.
That's not a reliable number.
It's at least 3 million, and the reports out tonight are that it's 5 million people who have been canceled so
Only
far.
on Fox is it 5 million.
If that is the truth, okay, fine. So let's go with 3 million. You can deny the problem all you want, sir, but the data is out there. If 5 million people tonight by our numbers, if that is the case, can we put the full screen back on the board? Then you need 156,000 people to sign up every day for the next 32 days just to break even. That's not even talking about the 7 million who you guys needed from the get-go to make Obamacare work.
No, that's not right, Megyn. You've got the numbers wrong. 7 million includes the people who were expected from the individual market to come on as well. So it's not just 7 million and the number from the individual market. That's the first point. The second point is you have to remember, in the individual market, before Obamacare, the insurance companies were canceling people all the time. That's one of the reasons we wanted the exchanges to work. And I agree with you. Without the exchanges working, this cancellation policy is worrisome. It was worrisome before Obamacare. It's worrisome today. The key thing is to get the exchanges working, to get the website working, so those people have a place to go where they'll get better insurance at a more reasonable rate
okay, understood. There's a lot in your answer. Let me ask you this first. Are you admitting then that it was foreseen that the individual insurance market would essentially collapse and that was a key facet of Obamacare working?
It's not a matter of foreseen. The insurance companies always cancel policies before.
It is a matter.
They did it before.
No, let's spin. You know as well as I do that the mass cancellations we have seen tonight are hurting a lot of Americans. They're very upset, and their relationship with their doctor has been severed as a result of coverage in many instances.
Miss Kelly, you don't seem to remember.
You keep downplaying it, sir, but it's happened.
No.
And now you say foreseeability is irrelevant. It is relevant. They want to know if you knew.
Maybe you would stop yelling at me.
Did you know or didn't you?
You don't see that before Obamacare, those kind of cancellations happened all the time. You never covered them. They were very common.
So to you, the two things are totally disconnected.
You keep interrupting. Isn't there any manners here?
Sir, it's a back and forth. I'm not just going to give you the platform for a soliloquy. Are you saying the two things are totally unrelated? Obamacare and the 5 million, pick your number, of cancellations in the individual market, totally unrelated?
No, I'm saying, look, the insurance industry was not forced to cancel anyone. They canceled people before, and they see the individual market as going away, and they're getting out of it.
I will give you that point for the purposes of discussion. Okay, I'll go with you on that. Let's say that is the case. Did you foresee that happening?
I think when you change the market, things change, and businesses make different decisions.
Did you foresee that happening?
It is. I saw them going to the exchanges because that's a better market for everyone, including them.
Okay, but that's different. Going to the exchanges on their own because they saw it and said, I like it, it's better than what I have. That's not the same as the insurance company saying, you are canceled and now you're on your own. Did you foresee that happening?
That is absolutely, they have canceled because they don't see that as a... They don't see that as a growing market. That's their view.
You are not answering.
They think the exchange is rising.
Sir, you're not answering. You're not...
I am answering. Their business decision says the individual market is dying. We're going to go to the exchange. That's how they're playing this.
Okay. So when the president said to the people, if you like your plan, you can keep it, period, you believe he genuinely believed that in his mind? And that he did not foresee the mass cancellations we're seeing now.
Whether you could anticipate what business would do is irrelevant. The Affordable
Care Act... Stop saying that, because I'll tell you what's relevant to my viewers. I think I know my viewers, and I think they think this is relevant. So can't you just assume with me for the purposes of our discussion that I'm right and give us an answer?
No, I'm going to tell you, the Affordable Care Act did not require any single insurance company to cancel a plan.
Okay.
They decided.
I'm going
they
with you on
decided
that.
to do that.
They
decided to do that
for
business reasons.
I'm giving you okay.
They decided to do it for business reasons.
Listen. I am giving you that. Okay.
Good.
So it's all the insurance company's fault. They're bad. They did something bad.
I didn't say they're bad. I just said that they made a business decision.
Fine. Why didn't you foresee that? And why didn't you plan against it? And why didn't you say to the American people, you need to know what's going to happen on the individual insurance market because it's going to be very relevant to your life, your health, and your children's health?
Because we were offering them a better platform to buy insurance called the exchange. That was the rationale.
Okay. All right. Listen, okay, I appreciate the answer. I want to ask you this.
Good.
You have been saying today that you believe there should have been a CEO placed in charge of the healthcare rollout, its development.
I said it weeks ago.
Okay.
Right, I said it weeks ago.
Shouldn't that have been something that the President of the United States recognized at the onset of this law?
I think someone should have been in place in the spring, summer of 2010. I think someone should be in place today. I think it's very important to have a single manager who has managerial experience, has insurance company experience.
And should the President have recognized that?
I think it's important. Look, I recommended it.
Okay, but I know you are loyal to the President, but and I don't want to criticize him, but I don't understand why you can't just tell it to us straight. Should he have seen this? Why? I'm trying to get to, why didn't they listen to you? Why wasn't there such a person appointed?
There were differences about how they wanted to run it, and they decided to run it with people in CMS having the charge for doing it. Remember, this was not an environment which was hospitable to setting up the exchanges.
I know. There was a lot
you and your colleagues were constantly criticizing, trying to underfund it, and trying to make sure it didn't work.
A lot of that criticism proved true. A lot of that criticism proved true, unfortunately.
It's a self-fulfilling prophecy. We're going to try to do everything we can to make it fail, and then when it fails, we're going to say, oh, why did it fail?
I don't think Fox News had anything to do with the rollout of healthcare.gov. As far as I know, we didn't touch that website. But listen, I want to talk to you about this.
All right, you were constantly attacking the law, and you were trying to make it underfunded.
It was all our fault.
Okay.
Let me ask you about healthcoware.gov, because this is what people really worry about.
I worry about it too.
If those people who lost their coverage, doctor, if they lost the people, the 5 million, whatever the number, the 5 million, okay, they
3
lose
million,
their coverage. 3, okay, fine. Then they can't get on healthcare.gov in time to get coverage for January 1. And then you have millions of people who do not have insurance come January 1.
That will be a serious problem. I absolutely agree with you. And that's all the more reason that it's very important by the end of this month that healthcare.gov work. I have said that before.
What are we going to do about it if it happens?
I think it's a real important...
If the website doesn't work and that happens.
Well, let me tell you, Megyn, I don't think this is very complicated computer science. I do think it can be done, and I do think that they will get it done. Now, if they don't get it done, then they really are in trouble.
All right, listen, you're fun to talk to. Thanks for being here.
Good. Thank you.